Hi friends, I'm Trey and this is my show, Trey's Myths and Tunes. Trey's timeless 15 minutes of explain. And today, my talk is called Be-lie-ving is seeing being a lie. Be truth instead. Gnosis is living wisdom. Fixing a hole in the ocean to try to see how the other half lives. Looking through a glass onion. Whoa, yeah. Whoa, yeah. You might not feel it now, but what is sweet now turns so sour. We all know what you eat is what you are. But can you show me where you are? Green tangerine, Marseillais. Ginger cream with a pineapple tart. And coffee dessert, yes, you know it's good news. But you have to have your Savoy truffle. Yes, you said I have to have my Savoy truffle. So cry, baby, cry. Believing is seeing being a lie. Be truth instead. Gnosis is living wisdom. You know, when you think about it, from my perspective, there is no morality observable in the majority of the people, especially in the West Coast and the status quo. There's no observable morality within the status quo, which makes it easy to detect an issue. So, truth is beyond belief, of course, because the person who knows the truth has the ability to learn and discern and expand. Truth is expansively being true. So, once again, I'll make a reference to Michael Talbot's book, The Hologramic Universe, which is fully, as I said, will be considered a Cliff's Notes of kindergarten spiritual awareness of the future. And as he states and has plenty of evidence for, this is a hologram-based reality. So our thoughts are the edifice of our template, our blueprint, unless we discern or remember or learn what our real blueprint is, which is, as I've said in other videos, is our spiritual journey for this life, our plan for this life. Otherwise, we're, believing the lies of the indoctrinated, the fake, inverted media or cults. So, and this is the most obvious in compulsory school systems, why a lot of everyone who has that extreme courage to deal with it has to pull the children out. And they make you go through roughly 15,000 hours of repeating these lies and indoctrinations over and over and over till you believe it's a dog-eat-dog world and that these bullies are going to beat your ass if you don't agree. The forced, elementary school, for example, is the forced indoctrination to see lies or believe in lies, because you are forced by these Nazi related history, the victors, uh, the secret victors of the mind control war, getting to, as I've said before, through these same families that control Hollywood and the allopathic system, getting to put their ideas into the schooling system. And this is what has led to the state of, there's some municipalities in the state of Chicago where they have a drag queen story hour after school for second graders, and 1 day a week they can go to drag queen story hour. So this is where it leads. So don't keep trying to be living in a lie, okay? Because groupthink is mind flunk, as I've said before. Untruth is what it is when you go along to get along. In a lie, there is no growth, no spiritual growth allowed in the lie. Hypergamy, I'm watching Mark Passio speak about this morning, and that's pretty much a collectively agreed upon insane lie, although it's natural. It's also an insane lie, to think that somebody is more valuable because they have a lot of money, which is hypergamy is why, unless I leave this, at least this part of this county, I'm likely to be ignored by women, because unfortunately around in this, especially this college or this neighborhood, they're often going to believe this because the insane rent and so on and so forth. It's a collectively agreed upon assumption that the wealthy are somehow superior. It's pretty crazy. This is why so few people often, because of capitalist, the religion of money, as he puts it. This is why so few people, actually even within the truther community, will even admit I exist. In Santa Cruz County, unfortunately, we have truther wage slaves and truther slave masters or warlords or landlords who won't watch this because they still believe or live the collective lie of wage slavery or feudalism. Is actually the man who I made all the videos about the NPEs. He definitely studied a lot of wisdom, and he told me, after he gave me an amazingly good sublet, then he told me, don't rent. After I moved out of there, he said, don't rent because it's the feudal system if you rent. And I vacillated between thinking he was trying to tell me this to limit my receptivity with women and my social collective healing, and to keep me limited, or because it was totally 100% accurate statement, which is probably both, actually, when you think about it. But the personality is groupthink is mind flunk. So in other words, wage slavery is a form of feudalism. I agree to that, and with that, and it's financial dependent. Also having accepted financial dependence, most people hate that. Think it means that I am not a man, I can never become a man, etc. Judging people by their history or their money or their situation with finances it's a normal thing to do, especially in a forced capitalism society where you're forced to pay for the box. However, this always greatly is going to, obviously, this is another type of dogma or self-made limitation that will greatly limit your ability to learn or to expand into different levels of awareness, because you can't learn from those people or the people that are real wealthy or real poor or whatever. So judging people by their history and their money, the result is an emotional degradation toward the person and yourself, and that leads to mental obedience to being a liar, okay, living the lie. And that leads often to narcissistic predator entities and loneliness, depression, etc. Wisdom is, as Mark Passio says, wisdom is action. Wisdom is actions of living the gnosis. Compulsory schools, allopathics, and the banking cartels are the official liars. You don't have to believe them. We're at the point of disclosure now, but it takes a lot of courage to step apart Because again, they're masterful mind control artists if you're a three-dimensional person. And a lot of discernment is required there. And it takes being willing to experiment and reclaiming your freedoms. For example, making the show, acting on new, respectful thought. Okay? You must do the shadow work. It's essential. Or then, if you don't do the shadow work, you will only see mental object obstacles every time you want to do something with someone else. There it is. You're still seeing the lies. And of course, I'm not 100% there, but I'm veering towards it. Clear the mind to get to the truth, okay? Believing the lies. The reason why that word is so powerful is because it's, again, as my friend David Bliss points out, what was the first one in my life to point out to me, the study of phonetics, the syllable lie is right there in the center, right? So it's just right in your face. Beliefs are lies often, most of the time. Official lies, So having that discernment, experiment and learning what you really believe and experimenting on it harmlessly, acting to new respectful thoughts. Mindfulness is emptiness. This was the conversation I had with this man Barry the other day. He said it would make a funny comedy. There's a one-liner. The Buddhists talk about mindfulness, then they talk about emptiness. Well, like if you fully meditate well enough, you'll be fully mindful, and your mind will be empty. Well, there's a lot to that. Meditation again is a huge, powerful tool in your ascension journey. So as long as you believe. For example, in my case, that I have to stay here in this tent, or whatever, any unlimited thought can become an obstacle. You have to have room in your mind for the truth. Slavery, for example, wage slavery, property tax, mortgage control, can obviously, for a lot of folks, it keeps them from ever associating with me, around here at least, because they're too busy financially surviving. Your social relationships, financial slavery and your social relationships can often keep feeding the lies or freeing, or possibly could they free you? Well, again, if you have the discernment to use each moment to remember the Christ, divine, sacred Mother, Father, Christ, Mother, Father, Goddess, Christos in your heart at all moments, even when you're shaking with fear, as I was when I made that video yesterday, I still didn't stop when the alcoholic, killer, Illuminati lawyer, and I'm assuming the Illuminati and killer part, because he certainly portrayed himself in that way, was about to mace me. And I said, you don't want to do that. I was shaking, but I was holding my fear. But certainly, right when I was making this video, this tree, I'm pretty sure now, you could say it's the mentally ill side of my head, but I'm pretty sure I was hit, and they got the right tree, but it didn't actually fall on me because my angels protected me, Pretty amazing how that happens if you hold your faith, and I'm a living example of that. my accident being a most overt example. I got another page or two to read to you here, my family, and so I'm going to go for a 30 minutes of spraying on this one. I almost want to point the camera to the forest, even with the insane space fence, geoengineering, atmospheric river behind them, just with a little bit of sunlight, a tiny tad of blue sky. These live oak trees and other trees look so lovely here. I almost want to point it away so you don't have to see my ugly face, and you can see that, or my beautiful and ugly face, to be more accurate. Anyways, I'm using the word accurate a lot now because we're in the age of Aquarius, and the scientism death cult pretends to rule, but Aquarius is the spiritual scientist, like the country India, speaks of science. So if you enjoyed this show, if you haven't already, click the Rastafarian colored subscribe button. Click the notification bell and create a great day with family.